First up on the docket is this zombies deck. We've played a lot of zombies here on Donation Deck Thursday. This one is a list that looks pretty good as far as, you know, the various ways you can cast Gravecrawler in Modern. You know, I've seen people play these kind of decks in the past, but I really like the look of this list with Lurrus as a companion, of course, and then I like not playing Corpse Knight as much. I kind of feel like Corpse Knight it's a weaker Wayward Servant because you don't get to gain any life, and I kind of like the idea of just playing some Reavers and Cutthroats kind of instead in that spot. I guess not too much to talk about besides the game plan of, you know, flood the board and then rally the ancestors wins the game if it ever resolves. You know, one thing about this deck too, I should also probably say, is that this, like a lot of the other zombie strategies we've tried, this deck. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong deck. So that's the next one. Most of the time, whenever I try to play zombies, and I've played a lot of it on this channel because I like the deck. I like the tribe. The biggest problem I seem to find is that the deck is really, really reliant on Carrion Feeder, like drawing a Carrion Feeder and have it be in play for like 2 turns. The deck really, really needs Carrion Feeder as a sack outlet. And especially this deck too with Rally the Ancestors, Carrion Feeder, finding it and having it be your sack outlet is really important. The problem is you only play 4 and you don't have any like zombie matron to tutor up Carrion Feeder for you, so that has been one issue I've found playing these kind of decks in the past. But if we draw like 2 of these cards every game, should be good. Was Altar of Dementia consideration for this? Yeah, Altar of Dementia maybe actually is the card that this deck needs. It's a donation deck. I didn't build the list. This is from Smellqueller. Smellqueller had donated for a Jund Sedgemoor list, but decided last second and wanted to switch to this one. So playing against Titan, that's a very good draw. I think I'm going to lead on the feeder. No, let's let the Cryptbreaker just not have Summoning Sickness, I think. Probably won't matter that much since I can't really imagine that I'm not going to be casting Sculler on turn 2. Pretty good draw. Yeah, Zombie Matron would be pretty cool. Or some kind of Zombie Tutor. I really like zombies as a deck, and I would like for the archetype to get a bit of a buff. But how do we beat Matter Reshaper? Good question. Been asking myself that for a long time now. Wow. They have 3 Dryads, a Valakut, and an Explorer. I guess I'm just taking the Explorer. Bizarre hand. Yes, if you sack Sculler in response to the ETB trigger, the card is exiled forever. But that also just turns it into like an Agonizing Remorse, which is not that good of a card. Dude, Bounce Land was a great draw for them, but also their deck is, you know, all bounce lands, so not that crazy. Alright, let's play a feeder, draw a card. And we know if we cast the Sculler, we're just getting another Dryad, which I don't think matters that much, especially when the alternative is actually getting a Wayward Servant in play. And we can rally the Ancestors next turn. Without like a Stitcher Supplier, though, it's not going to be that crazy. I think we need to hope that my opponent just like doesn't top deck a Titan here. Hopefully they're just going to like castle into 2 Dryads. No, my opponent drew Bounce Land into Titan. And that is a bad start to our Thursday. Golly. Sad. Vanishing Verse seems not that good, actually. I think exiling a Titan doesn't seem like it's actually that important. Hold on. Probably want to cut the Village Rites. Got a Lazotep Reaver. I think I'll play like the first Vanishing Verse, but I think that we're gonna just try to disrupt them with discard and then combo, you know. This was a dono lock card. I didn't change a single card. I think it looks pretty good. Although one suggestion that was like immediately made that makes a lot of sense is Altar of Dementia. Giving yourself that 8 sack outlet. You still get to keep Lurrus as a companion if you want it, and then it also fills up your graveyard for Rally the Ancestors. That card makes a lot of sense to me. Like, you could probably cut like the Village Rites and then the Lazotep Reavers. Sounds really good if we draw a land. If we miss on a land, we get to go turn 2 1-drop into Cryptbreaker, draw a card. It also has no discard. I think I'm gonna send it back. Ooh, the 1 basic plains. Really, really brutal here. I think I will keep this hand though, and put back the Gravecrawler. Maybe I keep Gravecrawler over Supplier. That's okay. Obviously, this hand is not stellar. Could Brought Back provide enough value as sort of extra rallies? I mean, Brought Back is like a very, very different card from Rally, you know. It's also double white on 2 mana is not free, and no, I don't really think so, honestly. You haven't tried Altar yet, but I've considered it. Yeah, it seems like a good option to me. Dude, a Boreal Grazer is brutal as well. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have led on Undead Augur here, since that way we could have gone Serpent Feeder next turn off the plains. It's also possible this deck shouldn't be playing a basic plains. I kind of like the idea of just not playing it. I think your mana is pretty good without it. Is the rally just value? Is there a way to win with it? With Wayward Servant and Zulaport Cutthroat, if your graveyard is big enough, you kill them. Yeah, Phyrexian Tower would be so good. That'd actually be a good Modern Horizons 2 card. Phyrexian Tower. I can see that card making the cut. I mean, EE on 2 is way less bad for us than a Titan this turn. You know, we even get to draw 2 cards, put 2 counters on the Carrion Feeder, and then we have Rally the Ancestors in our deck. Supplier is an interesting draw. So is Cryptbreaker. Lead on this. We did hit a Gravecrawler. Let's go ahead and just draw a card here. I just love how many cards this deck draws. Ooh. That's probably a win next turn. Yeah, that's probably a win next turn. Assuming we don't die, right? But they didn't have a Titan this last turn. They could have cast one, I think. Even if they like don't kill us, I mean, a Titan definitely kills us. Yeah, Titan like it definitely kills us with Dryad in play. Come on. Okay, Turn Chipper Symbiosis, not a guaranteed hit. They didn't slam the Titan into play. Yes! Brickadelphia. So I think we win. I've not done the math, and I refuse to do so. Alright. They're super dead. This seems kind of powerful. And then we also had the Zulaport Cutthroat, so we had, you know, another 1, 2, 3, 4. We had a million more damage. But my opponent was also, of course, just like If they had hit the Titan there, we would have lost. Maybe I actually what the push is. Because I feel like if we kill Dryad, then we can, like, we'll survive a Titan. Unless they get the Bajuka Bog, though. Relic-Warder for Amulet and Dryad. Yeah, I guess that's probably better than push. Too bad it's not a zombie. What do we cut, though? I feel like I don't want to mess with the 1-drops. If I'm bringing in 2-drop, I kind of want to bring a 2 in. Maybe we could trim an Augur since the card draw portion of the matchup, like the grindy aspect is probably less relevant against Titan. But I mean, Undead Augur is also maybe the best card in the deck. Okay, having a Thoughtseize is of course really, really important in this matchup, so we'll keep. I remember playing a lot of Standard with this card. I played a PT where this card was dominant. It was like that PT was like zombies versus Aetherworks Marvel, and I feel like I had the best Marvel deck that was good against zombies, where I was like main decking Kozilek's Return and Elder Deep Fiend, and you could emerge Deep Fiend off of Thoughtseize on one. You can emerge Elder Deep Fiend off of your like Rogue Refiners. They have double Grazer. Their hand is so bad. Double Grazer, or sorry. You can emerge Elder Deep Fiend off of your Rogue Refiners or your Whirler Virtuosos. Was this a keep on 7? Double. I feel like this hand is so bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Grazer is actually just like like 1-mana Doomblade against us, right? Yeah, actually, I forgot how good Grazer is in the matchup. I'm used to like this card not doing a lot against me, but it's actually not that bad. Their hand is Grazer Mystery card. Does Scrollblade get worse with Strixhaven? Yes, because Strixhaven gave Blue-Red Prowess Expressive Iteration and Birth White-Red Prowess. And, like, not only those decks being popular and having access to a lot of Lava Darts, I mean, more popular than they were even before. Oh, that's a really good draw. Yeah, it's not just those decks being popular, but it's also the rest of the metagame is playing a lot more removal spells to beat up on the prowess decks. Just like a creature-based Stoneblade deck has not been something I felt is very competitively viable for a while now. Unfortunately, because I love that deck. Second Amulet. So they have Grazer, 2 mystery cards. They haven't played a land this turn. Get a lot of value here. This feels like the crucial turn. If my opponent bricks next turn, they probably can't win. If we find a discard spell, it's going to be a really big game for us. I think I just play Carrion Feeder, Gravecrawler, attack with a team, and hope. No, this deck doesn't play Corpse Knight. It maybe could, it maybe should, but this list doesn't have it. Yes. I mean, Corpse Knight is worse than this one, Wayward Servant, but giving like that multiples is kind of nice. But like not the lack of life gain is a big deal. The life gain matters a lot in this list. You know, I've actually built black white zombies in the past. I think this was Lockhart's idea. Probably a keep. Yeah, Titan's got a lot of tools over the last couple of years. What do I think of Jeskai Ascendancy? I saw first day of class in Strixhaven. Thought could fit well since your creatures get haste, allows you to ramp faster than before. I mean, the Jeskai Ascendancy combo decks are usually kind of fragile and slow. where not only is their combo like sometimes they go off on turn 3, right? But usually it's I think a turn 4 combo, and just being a turn 4 combo in a prowess metagame with like almost no defense is really tough, because if you're gonna go off on turn 4, if you just lose the die roll against prowess, they're probably just gonna kill you in games 1 and 3. Is that just the biggest issue I have with these decks. But the decks are very cool. I'm kind of nostalgic for them because those decks were popular around the time I was like, you know, early in my Magic career, in Standard and Modern. I guess not. I mean, the card saw some Standard play, but more so like, of course, as a Modern card. Against Steam Vents, I want to play Undead Augur to turn any of their removal spells into a 2-for-1 for me. But if I was playing against a deck that I thought was going to be like a combo deck, I'd play the Servant first. So when you redeem a deck tech is now a good time. Yeah, any time is a good time. I'll just, you know, I'll get to it when I, you know, get to it. It sometimes like takes me a minute, but there's never a bad time. The dono fee is $40 also. I play them on Thursdays. I currently accept 3 donos a week. At the moment, I have 1 dono in the queue for next week. Lorehold brought back. Cool. I'd like to see I like the idea of adding Ephemerate here. What is Alpine Meadow? I don't think I would play the Alpine Meadow. I think you just like I think you actually want like 5 or 6 basic planes, because a lot of times you go fetch 2 basic planes on turn 2, and then brought them back. So yeah, I'd like to see more basic planes. Wouldn't play the Alpine Meadow. I think that you don't need the second basic mountain either, necessarily, with these mana requirements. I like the idea of trying out Ephemerate as well. I would play the 4th Skyclave maybe over the 4th Mentor with like the way this list looks. Yeah, playing this pre-combat to play around Snapcaster blocking. I don't like Chandra Awakened Inferno as a sideboard card. I feel like I just can't remember the last time I lost to Chandra Awakened Inferno as someone who plays like control decks. Like Espers has I should have played my land untapped to replay the Crawler. This was a mistake. Looking at the deck tech. Chandra, I would play Boil instead of Chandra Awakened Inferno. This card is 6 mana. It takes forever to come online. If your opponent brings in Aether Gust, it's brutal for you. If they have any way to gain life, if they get a way to answer Chandra, this card does nothing. Ingot Chewer seems like it's an answer to Chalice of the Void. I don't think that you're ever going to brought back an Ingot Chewer, or at least it's not going to happen very often. There's just like aren't that many artifact decks right now, and the ones that play artifacts also just don't play that many ways to. Alright, so my opponent's I think dead if this rally resolves, right? And they get hit. So I think I'm gonna just not play anything this turn. Maybe that's bad. But I mean, it looks like my opponent's through the breach actually. So yeah, we'll just like if they cast through the breach on their next turn, we'll just kill them with rally. I think I kind of prefer the idea of Magus of the Moon over Blood Moon because you get a counter on it with Showdown, but it's obviously very close. Yeah, let's play around Force of Negation, especially because I think they're just going to go through the breach and then they can't force the rally. But those are my thoughts. I like the idea. This actually looks pretty good. I may even try just like the Ephemerate package. But those are some things that would change. So no through the breach this turn. Sometimes they main deck an Anger of the Gods. I guess we rally the Ancestors to like force a counterspell, then maybe just kill them. It's a lot of pressure on them. Lord Oppo, did I thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription? Sorry, I got a lot going on, and I didn't sleep very well last night either. But I do appreciate you, buddy. Alright, so they are dead to Reaper plus Gravecrawler. I guess if they have lightning bolt, that's not true though. They do have lightning bolts. I guess I should have sacked the clearing first. But one nice thing here is we actually just beat an Emrakul. If they Emrakul us, we go down to 5. We sack 5 lands and a zombie, and then attack them for 6. Emrakul just doesn't do that much here. And by not doing that much, it just actually they just lose. Who submitted Marty Witch? That was Eyes. Eyes Twitch is their username. Looks pretty good. I'm not sold on a couple cards, but I think it's like a decent shell. I'm into Thoughtseizes. One nice thing that, I mean, obviously this is a small sample size so far, but it does seem cool that it seems like we can take an Emrakul hit pretty well. I feel like the Reapers, the Cutthroats are probably the weakest cards. Maybe I'll cut the 4th Rally the Ancestors. I could definitely see early in the game drawing 2 copies, and then they're stuck in my hand and I can't curve out in this matchup. So maybe, I think I'll play maybe just one of each of these as well. These feel like the weakest cards. I like this list. I think this deck's fun. I do want to try Altar of Dementia. You know, obviously, I mean, I love the zombie tribe. Love the zombie tribe. So, I may spend some time off stream seeing if like this is a good Altar of Dementia home. Altar of Dementia is also a card. I've put together like a couple of like drafts, but nothing that really I think looks too good. But I do think Altar of Dementia is maybe like the most underplayed card in Modern, or like underexplored possibly. But I had like a Grixis Zombies list that was playing that, or a draft that I didn't look that good to me, but looked like it was like the start of something. Let's keep this. The mana in this version is less painful. Once you introduce Thoughtseize, your ability to survive Emrakul comes low. Well, maybe you could trigger your life gain zombie a couple times. Should bring up a good point. Yeah, it was overused before. I agree. I mean, the card is very strong. I'm not saying it definitely has like a deck that can, you know, break it or anything, but I do feel like that there's probably something some unexplored shell for it, and I've spent some time trying to find it. I haven't found it, but it's out there maybe. Yeah, Aether Vial is also a card I think you could play. You know, one thing is that your curve is pretty low, and you also you can't violin rally. I'm gonna play around Snapcaster being cast as a chump blocker here, but I do like Aether Vial in these decks usually. Makes a lot of mana. Maybe it could be a Yorion zombies. It's a good draw. Through the Breach puts us to 1 life, though, if they have it here. Do you ever run into Mono Red Tron? No. I don't know what Mono Red Tron looks like. Oh. I can't believe I didn't bring in an answer for that. I'm so embarrassed. So embarrassing. All right, let's go to game. Oh, let's go to game 3. Altar of Dementia, Underworld Breach. All right, you've lost me with Quintorius. And some 0-card spell. I mean, this sounds like a 4-card combo, which are almost never good. And this is a 5-drop. Keep this. Any brew thoughts for a Retriever Phoenix? Is that the learn card? That card actually seems not that bad, yeah. I haven't thought about it too much, but I don't think that there's nothing there. No, Empyrean is a colorless card. Vanishing Verse hits monocolored cards. Alright, let's try to protect the Cryptbreaker. Or not protect it in the sense that we cast it next turn, and if they want to stop us from drawing a card, they have to kill something, the Carrion Feeder. Specifically, I guess. Let's fire that off. They drew an Empyrean. They have 2 Awakenings to shuffle them away. I guess we'll just take the Snapcaster. Draw a card. Swamp. So I can sack the Supplier looking for a Gravecrawler to cast. Seems not great to me. Quintorius is a cleric, so you can fit in the combo Pirate Hero Shell. Well, sounds busted. Actually broken? Question mark. I think that instead of Cryptbreakering, I'd rather just put Lurrus in my hand, and maybe we can... Oh, no! No! I meant to... I thought I clicked Cryptbreaker first, but I must have clicked the Carrion Feeder first. Oh my gosh, feels so bad. Zero Sum, 2 months, welcome back. Appreciate ya. It feels so bad to do that. I kind of want to clip. I really felt like I clicked the Cryptbreaker first, but I obviously misclicked. You saw me click Feeder first. Yeah, I know I did, right? I don't think Magic Online is bugged, but sometimes it gets weird. Sometimes it's lag. It looked deliberate. It wasn't. Conspiracy. Alright. I think that's fine now. We've got answers to this. We get to get Lurrus going. I think I'm going to go Sculler, sack Sculler with the trigger on the stack here. Take the bolts. We even have Cavern for their Spell Snare or their Charm. Winning this game anyways would be awesome after that huge spew. That was their draw for turn. They put a card on the bottom. Yeah, if they charm our Carrion Feeder... No, if they charmed our Feeder, we could just sack it and like replay it at our leisure. We could also hit the Relic-Warder off of the Supplier and cast it off of Lurrus. We missed. We did hit Undead Augur, which is a lot of cards. Assuming they don't charm my Feeder. What's the win con? We have Leonin Relic-Warder in the deck, which can get the Empyrean. Alright, so I'm gonna name Zombie here. I think that I Undead Augur. Play around their Spell Snare. I know that this means that they can snare the Relic-Warder whenever we draw it. But getting this some card advantage back seems nice. If we attack with Lurrus, we do gain the life off Lurrus, right? I believe so. It's really bad if they drew Snapcaster, but they would have already Snap Bolted. Sculler first to turn you draw Relic-Warder, that's true. Unless I hit the Relic-Warder off the Supplier. I think I'm just gonna sack the Supplier right now, draw a card. Yeah, we do gain the life. Ooh, Gravecrawler, nice. Opponent should probably sack or steal my Carrion Feeder right now, right? It seems like they're just trying to draw 2 cards, maybe find the combo. But maybe we can dig into... Ooh, Cavern is actually really nice because we can name Cat off of that. Okay, so we know that they have Spell Snare in hand. If we cast this, it's just getting Spell Snared, so we need to save that for next turn. White Dust Ring of the Feeder can't block. My opponent has a Platinum Empyrean in play, which says that their life total can't change. There's no point to attacking. Also, if they were committed to drawing 2, they should have drawn way sooner, so they could have bolted Lurrus or Carrion Feeder. Uh-oh. This is Anger of the Gods. Looks like Anger. Could be Valakut Awakening. Could be Through the Breach, of course. Not too much to do about that. Could be second Madcap. Yeah, Lurrus dying is really bad for us because now... I mean, I do actually only have one more Rally Ancestors in my deck. I trimmed a couple. So now if we mill over our warders with the Supplier, if we sack the Supplier, it's pretty bad for us. Flame Slash? Weird. And a Spell Snare mystery card, right? Probably just want to draw a card here instead of, oh man, sacking the Supplier to draw an extra card. Flood Reel. No attacks. Maybe they don't know that this can't block. Why can you only put Lurrus into your hand one time? Yeah, I don't think the Sculler being in play that matters that much. Alright, so we have 3... Oh, sorry, darn. We only have 2 outs to the... No, if we draw a Rally the Ancestors, there's a good chance that we actually mill over the Warder, or they can lure us back the Warder. Awesome. Okay. Cat. Or I guess I'll name Cleric, actually. There's probably a zombie Cleric in here, right? And so, this is Fiend Hunter templated. So we can sack it in response to the trigger, so they can't just kill it and get it back. Oh, I forgot to grow the other Carrion Feeder. I had more mana last turn, right? But we can do that this turn. Well, despite our, like, horrible misclick... Seems like we're getting there. Let's say the Spell Snare mystery card. We just exiled an Emrakul from their hand. Walk here, take 10, 11. Yeah, I don't think we sack the Crawler just to deal one more point of damage. Just leave it in play for now. Aether Spouting. Jeez. We do lose to Through the Breach Emrakul as the exact 2 unknown cards. They're into Spell Snare, 2 mystery cards. Another Madcap Experiment or Snap Madcap Experiment also is really obnoxious. This Charm to draw 2? It is. So now they need to hit land Madcap. Anger of the Gods doesn't do it. Or Aetherize. Land Aetherize. Or Engineered Explosives if that's just in their randomly in their deck. That would get the job done. But no, it's not in their deck because they have Madcap. Or if it's in their deck is poorly built. 2-0. 2-0 with zombies, man. Feels good. Feels very good. Or Cryptic, yeah, land Cryptic. The like actual most likely card. I do think that in tournament play, like you're gonna make mistakes and just like not letting it break you and not letting it just like destroy you and stop you from keeping playing is really important. It's really important just to be able to collect yourself and keep going. It's a very hard skill to acquire. Island Serum Visions. I know that some Through the Bridge players have been playing Serum Visions over Opt, which honestly seems a bit wild to me. Oh, it's Lotus. Total Storm. We have 3 Tidehollow Scullers in our hands, so I think we need to take that Echoing Truth. Although, no, we should take the Sleight of Hand. Wait, what did they do? They put 2 cards in the bottom. Yeah, I'll take the Sleight of Hand, and if they just, like, miss a land, they have to, like, reach through Mist here. Yeah. Very lucky to have drawn 3 Scullers against our Twiddlestorm opponent, by the way. And very lucky for them to have missed. So let's go Sculler. Get to draw a card as well. So Psychic Puppetry is their most important card, of course. We could just take their Reach to Miss so they can't cantrip again. I'm going to take this Echoing Truth since I have so many Scullers. Yeah, okay, this plane shouldn't be in the deck, I think. That is my... I've decided now. It's screwed us over twice. I just don't think it's good. Even with the Fetid Heaths, I think it's just too much of a liability. Obviously not the biggest deal in the world. So now we'll take their Psychic Puppetry, I think. And then Carrion Feeder? Or do we want a Gravecrawler? Probably the Feeder. I mean, ideally we could just draw a land and play both, but tap land. Hey, Tom. The Unspeakable in their deck? Gonna play their Wishclaw? So they can theoretically combo off next turn. We don't have any way to turn on the rally right now, but if we mill over something, a Cutthroat. Yeah, Cutthroat probably wins us the game. I go sack the Supplier first. Yeah, Wayward Servant definitely does it. GG. We're the better combo deck. Decks look pretty good so far. I kind of want a 4th Thoughtseize in the sideboard. Are they did with Crawler Feeder? If they were, I hadn't counted that high. This is not a combat stream usually, you know. I know that sometimes they bring in Aria Flame or Thing in the Ice. We could bring in Vanishing Verse or Relic-Warder for those, but I don't think we should. What's the ideal use of Rally? Casting it and reducing your opponent's life total to 0. Like, Rally gets back your Cutthroat. If you have Cutthroat, Carrion Feeder, you get to sack all the zombies you bring back to make them lose a life. And then Wayward Servant triggers and drains your opponent for 1 for each zombie that ETBs. And then Supplier fills up your yard. And also over the course of the game, you're going to be like playing zombies and they die. Unspeakable, 6 blue. Flying Trample, 6/7. Whenever Unspeakable deals combat damage to a player, you may return target 8 arcane card from a graveyard to hand. How do we play around that? Not sure. Any thoughts of playing Valkyrie this deck? It's also black 2-drop. Probably a joke comment. And we have a 0 joke tolerance policy, so you'll be receiving your first verbal warning here. And then the next joke will be a written warning, so hopefully we can avoid that. Yeah, I think Aether Vial would be good. I mean, fitting in the Aether Vial is not, it's not just something that it has no cost, you know? Like, it's not clear to me what the cuts would be for Aether Vial. But I do think Aether Vial would be good in this deck, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be playing Thoughtseize this turn. I mean, their Psychic Puppetry is, again, their most important card. Their hand's pretty strong, though. Although they maybe made mistakes by playing the one land we didn't know about. Although I guess they, like, shocking to conceal info probably isn't. Yeah, like, you probably cut at least the 22nd land, and then Maybe the 20. Maybe you cut the Village Rites in 2 lands, but then like casting Rally's not that easy. They did get another Psychic Puppetry here, so they can try to go off, although they're gonna have to run really well. They're gonna Steam Vent, Psychic Puppetry, 2 mystery cards. Another Reach Through Mists, which is +1 mana and then cantrips with Psychic Puppetry. Them casting their Twiddle and not just stopping here means we're probably dead. Like, usually they hold those unless they're really confident that they can go off. Make 3 blacks. They probably have Wishclaw Talisman here. So maybe it's not the case that they're going off. They don't play Peer through the Abyss, do they? Yeah, I think Twiddlestorm's been, like, always been a pretty underplayed deck in Modern. I also think that these decks need to play Underworld Breach. I don't know if all of them do. They do have Wishclaw Talisman. This might just be Wishclaw Talisman pass, and they have to discard down to 1 card, and that 1 card is just like gotta be Psychic Puppetry. So if we Wishclaw them, we like are very likely to get their Psychic Puppetry when we get Tidehollow Sculler. I think that makes sense. Obviously, it's not like a great line, but still, I think it's the line we have. They drew a land for turn. We've got 2 talismans. They can claw for Twiddle and Breach. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're dead anyways, I think, right? To that, just the Psychic Puppetry Breach. So maybe that's not in their deck. Well, we have actually nothing here that disrupts them at all because they have no cards in their hand to draw into. But they might just be dead next turn if they can't combo off. Like, they didn't tap their talismans last turn. Yeah, they also might not be playing Underworld Breach. Like, sometimes I see lists all the time that don't play it, and it makes no sense to me. But I do see lists all the time of Total Storm decks that just don't play the Underworld Breach. They float 4 red mana. Or 3 red mana and a blue. The Dream's Grass, untap the Lotus Field. So that's probably going to be enough for them to just get past In Flames and kill me. Wishclaw Talisman's so good. Throne of Eldraine Broken set. Throne of Eldraine Ruined Modern. Oh, they do have a Breach. Yeah, I think we're dead last turn. Alright, get to go to game 3. Get to be on the play for game 3, which is pretty nice. I guess let's bring in these Leonin Relic-Warders. And let's maybe just cut 2 Rally the Ancestors. Let's get 1 Rally, 1 Reaver. Remember Once Upon a Time? Yeah. Remember Oko? I don't think we can mulligan Carrion Feeder into Sculler on the play. Is a dono schedule full for the next couple of weeks? We have 2 slots open for next week. This week is full. But currently we have 2 slots open for next week. Aggressive. Time Walk. Kinda. Why don't you play around with Lotus Field anymore? The Lotus Field deck, the Jeskai Lotus Field deck has never really been that good in a metagame that's defined by aggro decks and removal spells. It's much better in very aggressive metagames. Hand's very strong. Yeah, much better in a very aggressive metagames. So, much better in very grindy metagames. And the modern metagame has been super dominated by aggro and creature decks for the last couple months, and it doesn't really seem like that's going to change anytime soon. And if it does change, if the format is really grindy and like lots of mid-range and control and big mana, then I'll like return to the Lotus Breach deck, but it's just, you know, just not where we're at. So they get their Psychic Puppetry back. They can't currently cast it. We can rally to get back their Sculler, sack the Sculler with the trigger on the stack, and exile their Puppetry again. I think that just has to be the line. Not a very good rally, the Ancestors, but I mean any card that's like you're casting it and not definitely dying is not that bad of a card, right? And this does mean they have to tap their Talisman. They can tap their Talisman to get another Psychic Puppetry, but also just not much we can do here. Them drawing an island is actually a pretty big game for them. We're probably dead. Can I be more explicit about my choices this match? I have no idea what's going on with their deck. I feel like I'm being as explicit as I possibly can. But their deck is trying to splice arcane spells onto Psychic Puppetry to untap their Lotus Field over and over and over again, generate a lot of card and mana advantage, and then cast a Past in Flames or Underworld Breach to kill you. Okay, them casting Serum Visions is a sign that they've possibly bricked here. With 8 cards in hand, it's very unlikely. Yeah, Sleight of Hand, Serum Visions, these are cards that don't generate any mana advantage. And so you just don't usually see them cast them that aggressively. Dude, we've been getting so unbelievably lucky. Playing against 3 combo... Well, Titan's kind of a combo deck. Playing against Titan, Blue-Red Breach, and Lotus Twiddle Storm, which are probably all terrible matchups. Maybe not through the breach, I think. Doesn't matter that much what their win con is, you know? Because they just draw so many cards. Get so much mana. Wooded Foothills, Breeding Pool, Shock. This deck is good at coming back from death, but at what cost? I think my opponent's playing Infect, which is also probably a bad matchup. This is, oh my gosh. This is what it's like to play zombies, right? Wow. I can't believe I ran into another bad matchup. That's 5 bad matchups in a row. What are the odds that every single game I'd play this league, I'm just playing a bad matchup? That's what it's like to play decks like this. Again, just 5 bad matchups in a row. What are the odds? Says the 3-0. Yeah, we got super lucky today though. We've had an opponent brick on Turn Timber Symbiosis. We've had an opponent brick twice with their Twiddle Storm deck. We've gotten like exceedingly lucky today. Cyber looks good against them. I don't know if that's true. We have 2 Fatal Push and 3 Vanishing Verse, which are not efficient removal spells, and miss Inkmoth Nexus. So I would even go as far to say that the sideboard looks bad against them. Discard. I mean, Thoughtseize is okay against them as well, but it's also this deck certainly has an issue of over sideboarding. We might win next turn. If somehow my opponent just doesn't have a pump spell. I'm not going to do the math. He wasted brain power. Limited brain power. Yeah, I think if they don't have a pump spell, we have a chance, but obviously they're pretty dang likely to have a pump spell or Noble Hierarch. Red Through Vines wasn't good enough. What a weird league. Reaver actually makes 2 blockers. I think they advised it drew Might. Yeah, I think they almost definitely drew Might because they would have killed us last turn, right? Augur's probably not really good in the matchup. I mean, you're not wrong, but Augur's also like the best card in the deck. I'm down to trim 1, I guess. I think like Reaver is like the weakest card, you know. Would I rather play zombies or merfolk in the meta? I mean, I would rather play zombies because I love the tribe. But I would, you know, if I was going to play a tournament, I would play merfolk if I had to choose between those two. If I was trying to win. Well, I mean, we were tapped out, right? So I feel like there was no reason for them to hold that protection. But I mean, maybe they were doing it anyways. Alright, this is probably a matchup where we cannot afford to have drawn this bad. I'm gonna put back 2 suppliers, and then if I draw a land, maybe Sculler is really good against their draw. But it's not like I think we have too many Mold of 4s that could possibly win. What if they print a Muxus zombie? That'd be pretty cool. You don't think Verse is good enough here? I mean, what would you... I mean, Verse is a removal spell against Infect in a deck here that doesn't have enough removal spells for the matchup. Alright, we'll take their Infect guy. Like, I know it's not very good, but it's also not like I can just teleport a bunch of fatal pushes that aren't there into my sideboard. I think I'm gonna play an Augur, attack with Gravecrawler. A Monk's a zombie, but you have to put them all in the graveyard instead of your library, huh? What mana traders package is best for Modern? The 2 highest tiers. Like the second highest tier at base level, it does like upgrade over time, which is what I have, and it's been upgraded over like the 3 years I've had the account. The base level doesn't let you rinse everything, but as you keep going, it does. I just take a Might of Old Krosa. I think I'm fine trading Augur and for a pump spell, and we also get the card, of course. And we have Lurrus in our hand, can get back the Augur. Let's fire this off now. I think we just take the second Might. Go, Gravecrawler, go. I drew Lurrus? Lurrus is so good here. And my opponent not having anything. That's such a gas draw. Wow. So lucky when I was just kind of flooding out a bit. Mold to 5. Actually, you know, just drew Lurrus. It's great. One thing I'll never draw, though, is a new Joe. Have I ever got 5 with a dono deck? Yeah, I probably have like... I have several times. I 5-0'd with like Esper Shadow twice. I 5-0'd with zombies as a dono deck twice, I think. Maybe once as a dono, once as like not a dono. So they drew Blighted Agents. Okay, this is a pump fake. I 5-0'd with Rhinos. I 5-0'd with a bunch of dono decks. But I've also played, like, I think 160 or something, because my Google Doc form keeps up with how many. Yeah, last week did come close. I'd be attacking with a second Sculler here. I mean, attacking the second Sculler, they just kill it. Oh, I guess we get the Augur. Yeah. I mean, here I think we have to attack with everything. Put them to 2. Yeah, but maybe attack. I mean, attack with the other Sculler next turn. We draw a card, but they just trade a spell in their hand for the Might of Old Crosa underneath the Augur. So we're gonna go block, Tidehollow, pump their Hierarch. But if they pump their Hierarch, don't they lose the Hierarch here? Because I don't think they have anything in their hand that's gonna give this +3 or +4. Wait, they don't want to get back their Might of Old Crosa? That doesn't seem right either. So I mean, it looks like they're gonna go Blossoming Defense on Hierarch, Tidehollow their blighted agent, but they just don't have enough pump that we know about in hand. They have Snakeskin Veil, and then we discarded the other Might. I don't think we know the other card. They might have Scale Up and don't maybe replaying Sculler. If they kill Lurrus too, I don't get to replay the Sculler. Was the Nightmare Tribal deck playing Lurrus in the main? We didn't see it, but maybe. Probably would have been decent as a Pyre target. Or they finalized their blocks. Oh, I thought they had. Think they're worried about push. Maybe. Weird game. Tense spot for sure. Yeah, this block is so much better. No, wait, no, this block means that they don't get to Tidehollow, though, to save their agent. They have to use 2 pump spells from hand. No, I don't like this block, actually, right? Unless they're just going to let their Hierarch die. Or they're going to let their Hierarch die, Tidehollow pump, and then Lurrus dies, and we don't get to draw any cards. Maybe that's good. Yeah, they even get to use the Snakeskin Veil, although it means they can't Tidehollow it anymore. It's very obvious I don't have a removal spell here. I'm just going to F6. There's 0 chance my opponent plays around anything. But can they count to 10 here? They've got 2. They actually have 4. We know they have Blossoming Defense. We don't know the rest of their hand. We died to Scale Up. Plus the Blossoming Defense. 6. No, wait, no, it's 7, 8, 9. No, we don't die to Scale Up by itself. They need 2 pump spells that we don't know about. So they're actually pretty unlikely, right, to have... I don't know. Like, yeah, that's 9. Hey, Doogie. Have we discussed how MPL Rivals is gone? It's gone? But when I first read that, I thought you said how it's gone. Is there some kind of announcement that's... Transitions and getting back to gathering. I was very critical of the MPL system. Alright, big news. Back to the gathering. Several years back, we made a significant commitment to Magic Esports, introducing the biggest prize pools we ever blah blah blah. And just as we began forming plans to build on that promise, COVID sent us back to the drawing board. In-person play is a unique strength for Magic. Digital play is here to stay, but only part of the equation. Accessibility is important, means broader access to play. We need to be patient. Flexibility is important. 2020-2022 season. This will be the final season for Magic Pro and Rivals Leagues. What comes next? The Gathering. That's our guiding star as we look to the future. We aim to return to in-person play as soon as possible. We hope that's sooner rather than later. In the meantime, we'll be working towards a flexible tradition that feels something familiar, Pro Tour, and features something we've all been missing, sitting across from the table playing Magic. Oh, hell yeah. To all my homies in the MPL, it's obviously bad news for them. That being said, I do feel like the MPL was an unsustainable system for competitive Magic, you know, where becoming in the MPL as someone who wasn't already like an established player, someone who like it was just a nightmare. It's like you have to qualify for the Pro Tour. You either have to like do well at like back-to-back Pro Tours or win one to become a Rivals player, and then you have to do well in the Rivals season to become an MPL member. So like the road to becoming MPL requires being very lucky and making like no money for 2 years. It was just brutal. Stupid basic planes. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. Organized play is still a shit show. I mean, I will also say that as much as we want there to be organized play right now, like there's like COVID is still a problem. It's not gone. You know, like 40% of Americans have been vaccinated, not even that, and like the rest of the world is also like a lot of places are struggling to get vaccines. And like Wizards can't commit to any like in-person or organized play yet, you know. It's obviously been a very difficult time for them, and I think it is good to give them a lot of slack for like this last year, you know, like where like any decision they make, it's very difficult to commit to anything because they don't know what the landscape of the world is going to be like. That being said, I'm super critical of the MPL system because that was already a thing before. They did commit to May resuming FNMs, but I like for people who want GPs and SCGs to be back, I think that you really just need to continue to be patient, like yeah, and understand like the bad spot Wizards is in with it. Pendle Agent, Block Agent Sculler, Might, Noble on Lurrus, Blossoming Noble. In some denser urban areas, it's posting 78 first shot. I didn't know that. That's actually really good news because obviously it affects urban areas more than rural ones, which is also why you see like such a divide in the country. Not that I'm trying to get all, you know, in on that stuff, but every Magic player wants GPs back. Every Magic player wants big paper tournaments back, but obviously Wizards is in a hard spot, and we can, you know, long for these tournaments together, but I do think it's not correct to give Wizards any shit, you know, for this. Yeah, you can give them shit for other stuff. Uh-oh. Be Vanishing Verse the Hierarch. Yeah, I think we can do that. And let's do it on their upkeep. Although I guess like it doesn't really matter because they're going to spend the green mana now. No, this actually... No, Vines doesn't matter. What do we play around? Because if we go upkeep, they tap this, and then they just have the Hierarch mana on their next turn. I think it's the same. We're told not to expect professional play after next season. We were told not to expect to be able to play professionally after next season. So, Callie, thank you for your resubscription. I think I already said that. Does that mean that they like secretly told NPL members that they're just getting rid of organized play or like professional play? Because if so, that's super bad news. They make it very clear that they will no longer have a path to making pro Magic as a career. As they've reiterated, they will not go back to anything like the previous system. It's a bit weird they left those parts out. There'll be more focus on other aspects of play, Command Fest, etc. Hopefully still get some set championships, GPs, but no Pro Dream. Well, they don't have a pump spell. Hold on, let's take a breath. Okay, so the only line I see here: sack Supplier, rally, get back Vanishing Verse, or get back Supplier, 2 Cryptbreakers, draw a card, draw Fatal Push the Nexus, and have my opponent have nothing. Want to leave Supplier to block last turn? The Inkmoth Dexys has flying and cannot be blocked by a creature without flying. Autumn said they have no intention of going back to the pro point system. I mean, it is also true that, like, in the article they said that this system is going to be, like, their decision about what they are going to do about the system is up in the air. I have a hard time imagining that they would ever completely do away with all, like, GP-style tournaments. But to just completely, like, do away with competitive or, like, high level play is such a weird 180, you know. Didn't draw the push, right? Because I mean, even before, right? Even in the old Pro Tour system, so few people actually were able to just support themselves on just their tournament winnings alone. You know, it was not. Even if you were a gold pro, like I don't believe that most gold pros could support themselves on just their opponent's Bolt of 4, which is terrifying. I don't think that most gold pros could sustain themselves on just their tournament winnings. Am I right about that? And so, like, that system didn't work. The MPL system didn't work. Oh, they revealed Yorion. I totally missed that. Well, that's good news for us. Yeah, that system didn't work. The MPL system didn't work. I hope that we find a system that does work at some point. But maybe the sky isn't falling, you know? Like, especially if they're telling the MPL members that, hey, like, we just don't intend to pay you $75,000 a year, or, like, we're not going to be doing anything like that anymore. Maybe that's just okay, you know? To kill Ren in 6, kind of nice. They didn't do that this season either. Well, they paid the MPL members $75,000, right? Or however much it is. Like, that has still been in effect the salaried MPL players. Pay what I'm down off in the first season. Yeah, I mean, I honestly have not followed the MPL super closely. As Wizards knows, and as everybody knows, very few people have followed the MPL super closely. Okay, so we can sack both of these, which I think is worse than just sacking the feeder to itself. The new PT qualifying will be based on how you do in Rank Clash or Magic Legends. This favors me greatly. I don't know. Sky might be falling. Sky might not be falling. I mean, just like the announcement that they're not doing away with GP, PT level events. It does make me think that if that's true, if they're not just debating to stop, you know, if they're not just debating and hope everybody forgets about, like, them saying that in a year or something. Then I think things will probably be fine, you know. Because I don't think Magic as, like... Magic... To be a professional Magic player where your entire... like, your entire earnings and all of your money that you're making is just from... your tournament winnings, that I just don't think is a sustainable thing. Or sure, maybe sustainable is not the right word, an obtainable thing, you know? It's just not something that is, I think, a realistic goal for people to set for themselves. It's very expensive to try to achieve that goal, and it usually... under the old system, it was, like, really, really difficult to do, and I just don't think it's a great system. It's like a nice idea to have. It's like a nice dream, but you know, Wizards tried to like really embrace that idea with the MPL, and the MPL is super widely unpopular. And so it's like either they spend, you know, millions of dollars like salarying like 200 people, or they do away with the MPL, and then they still offer paper tournaments, pro tour level events, competitive tournaments, and you can still win money at these, and you can still play competitively. But the idea of just winning off your tournament winnings is just like, for a game like Magic, has always been very, very difficult to do, you know? I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Just thinking out loud. Of course, I'm trying to talk about the Magic changes, and chat is just like concerned with having a political debate, and chat will never change. Because there's nothing more important than proving you're right in the comment section of a Twitch chat. Utterly destroying those with different opinions as you. No matter how many times the mods and the streamers says, guys, let's talk about these huge sweeping changes to organized play. We talk about Canadian politics. Well, I don't know too much about your Canadian politics, but no is also the answer. I mean, this is not like a strictly no politics stream, but also shut up. Let's like, there's like, we have a cool league going on, and we have very, very interesting like Magic related issues to talk about right now. I don't know what my opponent's doing. They're playing Yorion. I guess they're just Niv Mizzet. I guess they're just Niv Mizzet. I kind of like maybe like 2-ish Thoughtseize. I feel like I've just boarded out the Village Rites in every matchup, but also like Village Rites in better game one. What was our target with Vanishing Verse? In this matchup we don't have much, but mostly the idea is that card is very good against Heliod combo, is the idea behind playing that card. And Heliod is a really, really tough matchup for decks like this. This hand's very good. I think Wrenn and 6 on turn 1 is just such a disaster, or turn 2 is such a disaster. We need to stop that. Woo boy, read the room pretty well there. Jeez. Okay, so we can go. I think. Well, we can maybe play double 1-drop because they have 2 removal spells. Yeah, let's go. Let's lead on Gravecrawler, Carrion Feeder. I know that we can play Augur, and if they Helix it, we get to gain life. But Augur is also just so good. I think that this is a bit better. Could maybe play double Feeder. I'm not sure. Yeah, we saw the article Reptimus Prime. I was trying to talk about it, and Chad was just trying to yell at each other instead. But I've been talking about it for like the last few minutes. Obviously, we don't know a lot yet. I do think that the MPL is unlike I feel bad for all of like the people in the MPL, because obviously it's like such a dream to have been able to achieve, and obviously like no shade or anything to them, but I do also feel that the MPL was not a good model, where it was like, in order to start playing competitive Magic and obtain the goal of being in the MPL, which it felt like you had to either like, you know, qualify for the Pro Tour, which is hard, or the Players Tour, whatever, which is hard enough as it is, and then either do really well at like 2 back-to-back PTs, and then win one, just like spike one, just win a PT, and then you'll be invited to the Rivals League, and at that point you have to grind for another year unpaid to try to like win these like super stressful league weekends where the competition is super high, and you're playing, you know, standard and historic, where there's not a ton of room for like deck building necessarily, and it's just a brutal environment. And like, I think that like that system is not very good. Like, it's just like, for someone who isn't already in the MPL or the Rivals, someone who's just like looking to get into competitive Magic, it feels like such a unobtainable thing to become a member of the NPL. Just actually just not like a possible thing, you know? And so, you know, the old Pro Tour system was also not that good. You know, they've never really had a great Pro Tour competitive play system, and it seems like they currently don't have an idea for how to fix it. And I'm not saying I have one, but the MPL was not really a good environment. Like, you know, it also like wasn't even like popular to watch, you know? Like yeah, Jeff Hoogland's tournaments on Twitch, just his Hooglandia Opens have been like more popular sometimes than like the MPL weekly thins, you know. Yeah, exactly. The MPL did away with the gathering. It was like so far away from like the average Magic player being able to play in the MPL stuff that like people weren't that interested because they were just like never going to be a part of it. Omnath is such a broken card. Gee. I mean, I've never watched any of Hoogland's tournaments, but also don't talk bad about other content creators here. This is not that kind of chat, you know. This is not the trash talk other people's channels chat. Trust talk me though. Silent Clearing on turn 1 into Thoughtseize was pretty painful. Man, Omnath is so good. Could we talk about Hypnotoad? Oh, yeah, all glory to the Hypnotoad. Yeah, paper coverage so good, I agree. Oh. So if we draw Rally, we can maybe win, right? Okay, that's a lot of card draw. Alright, this could be a very interesting turn. Yeah, I think if we find Rally, we have a chance here, right? Got a few more looks. We have to sack the Augur though, right? Because if we sack the Supplier, we go to 2, and then we can't cast Rally because we don't have any lands that don't... We can't cast Rally without it costing us some life. So we need to draw Rally here. Ooh. Wayward Servant. It's close, but not enough to beat a 6/6 flyer. Get to play game 3 on the play at least. On the play, I might just cut these Thoughtseizes. Just try to be more aggressive. $1 million, but you have to age yourself 10 years from now. No way. Just skip to be 37. So I can like have a down payment on a house in California for 10 years of my life. Fit gone in a moment. You're 37. Well, you also got to experience the age of 27 to 37, right? Is kind of my point, that like those are like some prime years of your life, and to just skip that completely for $1 million, there's no way, you know? There's no way that would be worth it. Has Dono Zombo's ever done poorly? I don't think so, actually. Maybe once or twice. I mean, actually, yes. Thinking back, yes. But I do really like this deck. My Village Rites the Sculler. Let's see what we drew. It's Kaya's guy. Sack a creature, make a 1/1 spirit with flying. Yeah, not that strong here. Um, I'll keep the Sculler in play. Let's just sack the army. I should have tapped the Cryptbreaker down. I missed a point of damage here. They have 2 Bring to Lights and Elspeth Sun's Nemesis, which is not like a playable Magic card. Well, maybe I should take it here. It's like their play next turn, I guess. But boy, does that card stink. I mean, $100,000 a year is definitely great, but to like just completely delete that part of your life, you know, to not get to live it is just obviously, in my opinion, not worth it. $1 million would you die 10 years earlier than you normally would, so I'd also die at 45. I don't know. Also doesn't seem that good of a deal. Life's just not all about money, you know? A weird spot, right? We know my opponent has Kai's Guile. I think that you know they're likely to bring Slide into a sweeper. If they do that, we need to go Lurrus, Sculler away their other Bring to Light. Although if they do that, they do lose like their board. I'm not sure. Hopefully that's the line they take. Verdict into sweeper. Or Bring Slide into a sweeper. They might have to like the exile. They might have some kind of exile based sweeper. We'll see what happens, right? Oh, they're just getting Niv. They hit Assassin's Trophy and Bring to Light, so not too bad. It's like the second Cryptbreaker. So they have 2 Bring to Lights in their hands, so the Sculler is not doing all that much. We really need to find a Supplier to fill up our graveyard. Although that's not too bad of a... Yeah, I guess let's go Cutthroat, Carrion Feeder, Sculler, trigger on the stack. Oh no, I meant to sack with trigger on the stack and then tap Cryptbreaker. But the Cryptbreaker wasn't highlighted, so I thought I had to click OK again. I mean, I'm gonna take this Omnath. Got a really good chance to kill him next turn. Pretty exciting spot. They leave Kaya's Guile, less so, but they don't cast their Bring to Light for something. You don't have 3 zombies. Oh, Cutthroat's not a zombie. Okay, sorry. That was my confusion. They do have Shadow's Verdicts, but we thankfully get to sack all of our creatures. And I think just kill them next turn, right? This even kills their bird and their token, but not obviously that relevant. It exiles out of graveyard? What? I mean, this is still the line. That's good though. Jeez. I didn't know it did that. Good beats, jeez. That card seems good. I guess I could put a counter on the Carrion Feeder by paying some life here. Second the Cryptbreaker, recasting it off Lurrus. Now they have Omnath. I think our glorious 3-0 start is gonna fall to a miserable 3. Yeah, Shadow's Verdict seems pretty good. I think about it for that. I mean, we can't Bring to Light for it in the Lurrus Bring to Light deck because we can't Bring to Light for. I mean, if we draw Supplier into like some nutty cards, we could win. And assuming my opponent somehow just doesn't really impact the board that much, which this does. Although they're also going to Assassin's Trophy something. Hopefully just Lurrus. I mean, I guess it would just have to be Lurrus, right? I think I'd rather have a land here than a counter on the Carrion Feeder. Because we may just have to have like a very mana intensive turn. If we could draw like Undead Augur into Citrus Supplier or something like that. Not something like that. Alright. Sag. 3-2. Not too bad. This is not the list. This is a different black-white zombies deck. Swingy game, though. Very exciting league. We definitely started off really well. Where's... here it is. So one thing I kind of feel like... So these feel like the flex spots to me. And then you could also potentially cut 1 or 2 lands if you wanted to include Aether Vials in this deck. And Aether Vial I think would be pretty good. Another card I think would be very strong is Altar of Dementia. I think play at least 2 altars over the Village Rites, and if you want to just keep this exact deck the same. You can also consider Corpse Knight over Zulaport Cutthroat. Corpse Knight being a zombie maybe gives it the edge, but I'm not sure. Worth trying. I'm not sure if I think this deck should have Vial or not. Vial is also kind of good with Lurrus some games. Just take it up to 3, put it in your hand, Vial it in. I'm not sure though. The deck might be better without Vials. I think I would like to see 4 Cavern of Souls, and at least when Counterspell comes out. I don't like the Basic Plains. Basic Plains bit us in the butt a few times. Although maybe if you play 4 Fetid Heath, you could get away with the Basic Plains. But probably not. Probably that's not what I recommend. But maybe still 3 Fetid Heath anyways, for Rally the Ancestors double white. Yeah, I'd also like to see some better zombies. I like the sideboard. I think the sideboard's pretty good. I kind of want to see the 4th Fatal Push. And this is probably like too many Vanishing Verse as well. The Relic-Warders might also not be that great. But I'd like to see the 4th Thoughtseize and maybe the 3rd Fatal Push, potentially over like Relic-Warder 2, Champion number 4, definitely Vanishing Verse number 3 I think should go. But we also didn't play against Ponza or Heliod, so I could be off. Zulaport Cutthroat gets around Leyline of Sanctity, but Blood Artist also triggers off your opponent's creatures dying, which sometimes is relevant. Alright, so thank you for Smellqueller for donating for that. Very, very cool list. But we're going to move on. We got 2 more decks to do.